on this Monday, the first day of June. So we're headed right into summer. Who knows? When is the first day of summer?
The 21st.
The 21st, right? 21st or 22nd, somewhere up in there. Anyway, so welcome to Something to Talk About. Of course, it is a part of the No Nonsense Woman and Company because I am the No Nonsense Woman. My company is right over there. It's Brianna. So there she is. She's logged in. Hey, Brianna. Dr. Fight will join us sometime this afternoon. So it has been a tumultuous 6 days. As everyone has probably been glued to their TV, or they've been out in protests, and it's just been wow. I am of a particular generation, and we've seen some things, but I will tell you this: I have never seen the entire U.S. of A. Every state has been protesting. Quick that for me. Every test has been protesting. And I was just like, at first I was like, okay, it's going to be, a couple states here. First was Minnesota. Then it was, I think, Atlanta. But anyway, it has just been nonstop. Just nonstop. And let's talk about, in Chicago. Ooh, honey. Ooh, you talk about the protests in Chicago? And one of the things that I want to say first is that I've had an opportunity over the last, like I said, 6 days. I have listened to so many people. I've listened to people of other races, other ethnicities, and I have gotten their take on certain situations. But what struck me the most was talking to talking to white people. And one of the things that was said was that they said I have no vision of what racism is like. And that struck me, because if you guys can tell, I'm just jumping right into the conversation. So that struck me because she made a valid statement. By being a white American, or by being a white person in general, you really have no idea what it is like to deal with racism on a daily basis. For us, as black people, we deal with racism every single day in one form or another. And even our kids do, starting as early as in elementary school. You deal so all the way through elementary school, middle school, high school, college. Going out for your first job, entering into the workforce. Trying to move up in the workforce. It is a constant. It is a constant issue for African Americans. Let me just say for black people. So what transpired over the last 6 days is just not just over the last 6 days, but it's 400 years of oppression. It really is. People want to say that because slavery ended formally, that slavery it shouldn't be any racism. Well, as you saw on a week ago today, when George Floyd, when he was murdered in front of the whole world, not just in the United States, but the entire world. When, what's his name, I can't pronounce his name.
Derek Chauvin.
Chauvin, when Derek Chauvin murdered him, just like he was pouring a glass of water. He literally just sat there with his knee on Derek Floyd's neck, his carotid artery. I mean, what did I say?
You said Derek Floyd.
Okay.
You could combine both.
Oh my God, George Floyd, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna just say Mr. Floyd, so I don't get the man's name confused. So Mr. Floyd. So I probably talked fast, so I probably ran together. That's why I said something like that. But anyway, he literally sat on the man's neck for 8 minutes and 45 seconds. 49 seconds. And you know what? And we all said within 3 to 5 minutes, the man was already gone anyway. The man was deceased before the 8 minutes was even up.
Well, I'm gonna just put this out there. My issue is that the hole you put in, that's my first issue. Then the simple fact that you became so callous and didn't care, and then and wasn't concerned, you stuck your hands in your pocket.
Right, I told he stuck his hands in his pockets as if he said, well, I'm going to see if I'm reading the newspaper or just seeing what's going on around me. But the thing is, too, that this particular officer has had 12
police
brutalities, charges or whatever lodged against him over, I don't even know how long he's been on the force, but he's had 12 incidents that he's had. So why is he still in a uniform? I have no idea. But he's not only one. It's so many officers.
Well, he's rocking the orange jumpsuit right now.
Well, but I was saying it's so many police officers around the world. Within the United States, who are just like, what's his name, Derek Chauvin.
Yes.
They are just like him, and they are still wearing the uniform. So it must be, not should be, will it be, it must be a complete restructuring of the police departments all over the United States. Because what happened cannot continue to take place. And make no mistake about it, the only reason why we know about this one is because he was just stupid and just bold enough to sit there and do it while the whole world was watching, while cameras were right in his face. So what that says to me is that he's comfortable with doing it. He's done it time and time and time and time and time again. And he's gotten away with it. Only this time, he didn't get away with it.
Nope. And I'm just saying, and they still made certain mistakes because he should have been arrested the day he got fired.
Right.
They still waited 2 days after he got fired before
Right.
he was arrested. They need to arrest the
Other three.
The other 3, the
Mhm.
one that was standing there on just
Blocking people, right,
blocking
right,
people.
right.
They
Correct.
need to arrest him.
Uh-huh.
You need to be brought up on murder charges. Then they need to arrest the other 2 because there was 2 others. When you look at the video from a different angle,
Uh-huh.
it was 2 other people that were laying on his legs. So the man couldn't move at all. It was 2
Wow.
people laying on his. It was 2 officers laying on his legs, and then you had the one that with his knee on his neck. So they need to be brought up on murder charges. And you did some 3rd-degree murder. Damn that. They need
It needs to be first-degree murder.
They need first-degree murder with intent to kill.
Absolutely.
Because that is something. Now they have the Minnesota Attorney General, Keith Ellison, that's his name.
Ellison. Yeah, he no relation.
You know, Ellison, no. But anyway, he's on the case. He said he's looking over everything because he just got the case less than 24 hours.
Right.
So he's looking at everything. He said hopefully there will be more charges to come.
And let's talk about that intent. People keep saying there was no intent.
Boom.
It was absolute intent.
When you lay
when you lay on somebody for that amount of time, like I said, in my opinion, the man had already been gone probably within that first 3 to 5 minutes. He was already gone. But then what made it even worse is that somebody replayed the video and they said, check this out. So they pointed out when this supposedly ambulance came, these were not even paramedics from what I could gauge because they had on light color brown tops, dark color brown pants. They pulled out no paramedic equipment whatsoever. They simply rolled the man over onto the stretcher and put him in his ambulance. So my question is, what part of the EMT is this? Because they tried to they initiated no life-saving nothing toward the man. So I'm thinking that there must have been some kind of code or something that the police must have said through their radios or something that said the man is already gone. The man probably maybe no hurry, already dead or whatever. Something that they must have said because the way they just came and got that man, they tried to initiate no CPR, no nothing. And so when the guy pointed that out in the video, he said, just watch. And I watched very carefully, and that is exactly what happened. So I want to know, who were those people? Were they a part of the police department? What was going on there?
I haven't seen that person. I can't tell you. All I know is I said, now this is for you, because you always like to say millennials are not in touch with what's going on. You can't say that now. Because, like I love my millennials. But now the looting you all didn't have to do. I understand the frustrating, but the looting you didn't have to do. But I am very proud of you all for the protesting that you.
Well, here's the thing about the looting, because so many people, other people, other news people, and they're all talking about the people they've been waiting so long to reopen after dealing with COVID, and they haven't been able to make any money. Now they still have to wait some more time. Because me being the age that I am, let me explain. I have to explain to people. I said people need to understand. Is that I don't agree with the looting because I'm gonna be honest. I can't go into somebody's retail. I just can't steal like that.
Right. I mean,
I'll be too scared, so I just can't do it.
It was literally somebody. They said on Michigan Avenue back.
No, they didn't back up a U-Haul.
Not a U-Haul, but they backed up their truck to the Gucci store.
Get out of here!
And just loaded up the trunk, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
My conscience won't let me do
Yeah.
that. Like I was watching last night, and there was a woman. She literally loaded up mattress and box spring on top of her car.
Yeah,
You know what?
Yeah. I said, and it was hilarious because I said, no, she's not going to get that mattress. And I watched this heifer, and I'm gonna call her heifer, because I watched this heifer pick that mattress up in that store, pull it up all the way over to the door, and then she drug it on outside. But here's the kicker: it was 2 men that I thought was with her. They came and put it on top of her car for her, and then they walked away. I was like, "Oh my God, they've been
An honor thief.
okay." That was yes. is honor in thieves. Absolutely. Because I was like,
and
I was like, damn.
I'm gonna just talk about you all. The people that went and robbed the zoo. Why?
Yeah. Why you steal somebody's monkeys?
You stole monkeys out the zoo.
Yeah. Exactly. Why?
That one got me. That was this morning. Outside said, yeah. They went to the Lincoln Park Zoo and they took some baby monkeys.
But to us, I'm gonna get back to the looting thing. And so people are so frustrated and saying, "Oh my God, they're tearing my business. We're part of this community. Why are you tearing up in the community?" Let's be perfectly honest. There are so many small business owners that they and let me say this, and I'm not being racist at the moment, but it might come across that way a little bit, but whatever. There are so many.
With the level of race.
Right. There are people that come from other countries. They get money for businesses. You come into black communities and other communities, and you set up in these communities, and the black people, all of us, we go and we buy and we shop in these stores. But when black people come in there, you mistreat them. You're disrespectful. You think as soon as a black person walk in your establishment that they're automatically going to steal or take something from you. So I'm not excusing the fact that they looted. I'm trying to get you guys to understand and see why when people say, okay, now I have an opportunity to go and I'm going to ravage your whatever you did. It's because, think about it, because at some point or sometime maybe you mistreated someone, somebody black or of another race that walked into your establishment. My thing is, if you don't want to be a part of the community and treat people the way you want to be treated, then do not set up your businesses in certain areas. And especially let's talk about the hair stores and all that sort of thing.
And I'm piggyback off of that because I've had that done to me. I literally go in the store and you literally see somebody, 3 white people over there stealing, but you gonna follow me around the store because you think I'm doing something.
Right.
And people, like you said, white people, they don't understand. And I had to explain this to somebody yesterday. Mm-hmm. I said, you don't understand waking up, brushing your teeth, fixing yourself up to look decent to go out, and have somebody follow you because they think you're gonna steal something. To have somebody follow you because they don't like the color of your skin.
Right.
To have somebody, you're walking down the street, turn back and look at you and stare at you because you don't look like that.
All because you are black. So that's what I'm saying. When you're seeing, and then I was like I said, I was so proud of some of the millennials. I was so proud of some of the younger people because they expressed themselves very eloquently. And there was one young man I saw, and he was in Santa Monica, and the question was asked to him. He said, and I think he was a young white guy. His response was, he says, you have to understand people's frustration. When they've been dealing with racism, systemic, let's clear that up, systemic racism across the board, down the line, in every aspect. When people deal with that on a daily basis, you have to understand their frustration. I'm not saying I condone it, but I understand it. I completely understand it. And I'm sure a lot of the officers that was out there, they tried to understand too. You know,
they understand they have a job to do.
They have a job to do as well.
But they understand that even for them, you have black officers that they can't get to where they want to through the police department because they're being held down by their superiors.
Right, exactly,
so, I mean, it constantly trickles down, and it's to a point now where people are fed up. And then when you got some, and I'm gonna go here because you gotta go here eventually. But when you have somebody,
I need my blood pressure medicine. Go ahead, okay.
But when you have somebody at the top that just basically comes at you constantly, telling you, "Oh, you're not worth this," that has done just horrible things to people of all races, it's going to explode.
And let me just piggyback at Brella's house. Let me just say, she said somebody at the top. Let me say that one at the top is the head of the KKK. Okay, and so he has and so we know that a lot of his KKK buddies, that they're police officers in uniform and everything else. Okay, let's not pretend. There was a black guy on television this morning, and he's a mayor, I think, of Denver. I can't recall his name.
Michael Hancock.
Okay, Hancock. The question was asked to him.